Okay, we have talked about the old guard is dissolving. I've said this for a few months now, and it's happening more and more. A few reasons for that. I'll talk about that in a moment. I also want to talk about the turning point, because it's critical that you are aware of what we're going into, because that alone, that turning point, rests on you. Oh, no, not them or the government or the blah, blah, blah. You. And I'm going to tell you why, because you could shift not only the entire planet, because every thought is a thing, but your life could transform in a way, and I'm going to introduce some really cool stuff to you in this video. Are you ready? Let's go. Welcome to Landria Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through those fears and live an amazing life. My whole platform is Break Through Fear. Why? Fear is what stops you from doing things, trying things. Fear stops you from living your life to the fullest. There's always a projection of what might happen, or what if I fail, or who's going to say, and blah, blah, blah. Shut your pie hole. I told you I was going to bring that back in 2023. We're at a critical turning point. Now, I'm going to talk about the old guard first. I'm going to tell you what that is, and then I'm going to tell you what the turning point is and how you have to participate now. It was really easy to sit and watch that video. Yeah, the Pope died and the Queen died and all these old stars and you know, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, we can watch that all day. Now we're going to talk about the turning point where do we go from there? Where do we go from there? Guess what? You're in control of that. Oh yeah, you, sitting in your little living room thinking that you're not important, you're in control. That's in just a moment. The old guard are the old institutions, the old foundations, the old generations that were told through their parents and parents and parents and parents, handed down how things are and what success is. In other words, this is what you must do. And I grew up in the baby boomer era. You might have too. So we're responsible for the very things we're complaining about now. The pollution of the planet, all of these things. That is the old guard, and we have been a product of that. Some of us are the old guard. The old guard doesn't have to make the decisions of what they've been programmed to believe and think, okay? It's not about the era you grew up in it. It's about your own decisions right now that determine whether or not you're going to go along with that programming. The old guard is a programming, not an individual. So there is no enemy, there's no group or whatever. There are individuals everywhere that think completely different than maybe some people that have not treated the planet or others very nicely. The old guard are the old establishments that have really looked after their own interests and their buddies, right? Their buddies. I was an investment banker. I was in that world. Everybody's taking care of themselves first and then their buddies. And the only reason they take care of their buddies is because, by the way, I don't mean men or women. I mean everybody. They take care of their buddies because that helps them, right? We're more powerful in our little group. And this goes on. It's been going on forever because we've been in low density ego. That is not to be blamed. It was an era that the planet went through, and now we're going into the Great Awakening, and that is just rising above it. Now, I said to you, and I'm going to say this all the time, you don't slap a little baby and push it down when it's trying to walk. You nurture it and love it, you help it, and you allow it to continue to get stronger, more stable, eventually running and whatever, right? Think of that old guard as the baby of the ego, the lowest density of the ego, because the ego is starting to dissolve. It's an existing energy field, but it is no longer predominant. In other words, we're coming out of unconsciousness. We are the one. We're everything. That old guard is you. That is a facet of you. Everything's a facet of you, not you, the person. The energy field, and this is a container for that. That was a container, a container, a container. All of the pieces of the puzzle, they're another piece of the puzzle. That's all they are. And when we pull those pieces together and we work together, we become a beautiful one picture, oneness. All right, this is tough because we are in the experience of separatism and individualism. That is the experience. We came here to experience not being one and all lovey-dovey. Right? Now we know what that is, because once you know what it's like to have pain or suffering, all these other horrific feelings, you realize that feels so much better. So now we're going back to that, because it's like, you know what? It doesn't feel good to hoard. It doesn't feel good to, steal or abuse my body or abuse others or get angry with others. Somebody posted a comment, and I'm so angry, and I said, what happened? What happened to you? Where's that anger coming from? And I said, I love you, and you are loved. Do you love yourself? And so there's going to be a rediscovery of this. Now, the old guard, first of all, most of them are really old, physically old. So they will just start dying off. And they're going to die off, not coincidentally, at certain key time periods. They're going to continue to open up doors and release the stronghold that they had on certain foundations, institutions, companies, all this stuff. CEOs, people that are making decisions that are not of the one, are going to dissolve. Why? This is key. Because the collective is not supporting it anymore. There is a huge collective growing of great awakening that doesn't support that behavior or believes it anymore or follows it anymore. So I'm going to ask you a question. If you're pointing fingers at, oh yeah, the old guard, they're going away. Do you have kids? Do you buy your kids plastic toys? You're part of it. I know you're going, no, well, I don't have. Somebody said, well, I have to use plastic bottles. No, you don't. Big effing excuse. Sorry. Big effing excuse. You have choices. It's not easy. It's not easy to make the right decisions. There's no right nor wrong, but the higher decisions. Yes, get glass bottles, and there are places all over. If you can't afford spring water, you can go get filtered water that is way cheaper than those plastic bottles of water that are very expensive, by the way. I pay a lot less for water in non-plastic bottles that I refill. Is it a pain in the ass? A little bit, not really. You know what's worse? Bringing that plastic in and drinking chemicals. We have to step back from the old guard programming. That's part of programming. If you're in it and you believe that you can't make that change, you are programmed and you're still going along with it. So what we want to do is we want to pull away from that. Non-participation, zero participation. Non-acceptance. All right? I have 2 videos on that. What does that mean? We're not going against them. We're not conflict. We're not blaming them. We're saying, that's what we were. Wow, we're coming out of that, and now I can see it for what it is. I don't have to believe it. I don't have to conform anymore. And so, you guys know this. The first thing you see in my thank you video are guys that'll show you how to create whole properties, even if you don't have any money, communities, retreats, whatever you want. There's nothing you can't do. Organic gardens, communities, all these things that step way away from that. But then when I offer it, oh, guess what? No more excuses. Now you can do it. What are you going to do? I'm asking you that right now. That's the turning point. The turning point is if you don't want to support the old guard that just really is in density, didn't know better. Well, you can say they do, but not really. When you're that low in density, when it's that strong, even if you know the difference, you're still choosing service to self because you're so deeply programmed. Everyone has a choice. Everyone can get out of it, and many people have. But we're not going to blame them. We're not going to blame the baby who's crawling and trying to walk. They'll come back again in some other form and probably be leaders of what we're going to start. We're not even starting. This has been going on for a long time. You have a choice right now. It's the turning point. If you are not part of the old guard, then you have to reject and say no to, without conflict or blame or separation or judgment. Without all of that, you become the new world. The new world no longer blames, judges, points fingers, separates. That's the turning point. So I want you to remember, so many spiritual people out there are going, yeah, they're going away, they're evil. And I'm saying, no, they're not. That is you. They're our best teachers. And so some will change and transform and go into a new world. Others will stay where they are. They've lived a really nice life in their ego state. We learn from that. We've been programmed. We can choose to step out of unconsciousness. That means everything you do counts. If you do not live the new world now, then you're contributing to the pollution, the disrespect of the planet, animals, all of it. I told you, ladies, if you're putting anything on your face that has animal testing, you are the old guard. Yeah, the programming that says it's okay. It's okay to put little animals in there, test on them so we can look pretty. We're way past that. We have way too many products out there you can use that don't harm animals. I'm sorry. Is it inconvenient? You might think so, but once you go into that space, you're going to feel better and cleaner. Your life is going to transform. Things are going to manifest for you that'll blow your mind. It's going to be amazing. And you're going to see the old guard as just part of the evolution of the planet. You will have no negative feelings toward these people because you know, this is just a part of me experiencing all this craziness that allows me to know how great it is. Now, I said in my last video, near-death experiences, why do people not want to come back? Because they know pain. They didn't know pain till they came to the planet, or maybe they did, I don't know, it depends on their past life experiences, but they know how dense and how bad that feels, and they don't want to come back because they're in love and, oh, this feels so good. How do they know that? Because they knew pain. That's what you're doing right now. You can transform right here. Right here we can go in. We'll still have density. It's still going to exist because we're in a very low vibration material world. However, that's the experience, and it's beautiful. How can I be this thing, this beautiful, massive thing that I am, here in this low vibration? I can do it. That's the breakthrough. That's the turning point. I will not conform to the old guard that created plastics, that allowed things to go into dumps, that whatever. It goes on and on and on. That sends our trash over to other countries and takes advantage of that. All of it has to end, all of it. I'm creating options for you, as many as I can. You guys, Activate Your Magic is out, Advanced Manifesting, 3 steps. When you sign up for that, you will see free videos, and one is 4 proven steps. It's not difficult to follow this stuff. You can manifest things that'll blow your mind and change the world. And you realize, wait a second, I held magic this whole time, and I was scrapping for the material world and blaming and separating, and it felt bad. And we were down here in the basement, scrapping around in the dark. We didn't even know there's a penthouse up there. And I told you, the only way you get to the penthouse is when you get on the elevator, you have to raise your vibration, your frequency. You can't get up there. So you might raise your frequency and you get on the next floor, and wow, there's windows and light, and then eventually you raise your frequency, you get up to the top, and there's a beautiful view, and we drink champagne up there, and no one blames anybody else, and everyone contributes, and it's amazing. This is a world you can live in. You can still be an individual. You can still have goals. You can still have your own opinion and not agree with somebody, but you don't make them wrong, and neither are you. This is what's going on. We're saying, what am I creating? Expansiveness, and then the gateways will open for you. It's happening right now. I have students that do mind-blowing things, and I'm talking within a couple weeks of taking my course. There are no accidents, no coincidences, there's no blame. The one doesn't make a mistake. The old guard is separation, blame, anger. The new, it's not the guard, it's not even a guard. The new community and collaboration that we're going into, that energy field is just dissolved. And all of a sudden there's nothing to try and figure out. We just are. And we create and we give and we love and we receive. And you can do all of that. Yeah, are you on board with it? You guys, we are creating businesses online. Businesses that are good for the planet. Digital Explorer is coming out here shortly. As of this video, it's not out yet. It is spiritually conscious businesses only are allowed on that platform. It's people with existing businesses or want to open their businesses, and I help them to do that. We create business plans. We look at how we can do this that is good for everyone, and you can earn enough money to support yourself. So let's go, flourish, be abundant. You are much more powerful that way because we are in a material world. Don't discount that. All right, so these are free videos. This is the training I went through. Digital Explorer is going to come out, totally different kind of platform. I have a marketplace. It's just going to be so super cool. These are free, and I have Activate Your Magic as Advanced Manifesting came out. Breakthrough Fear I'm teaching. I still have seats for students. But above all, be the change. This is the turning point, my friend. What will you choose? You have 100% free will. And if you don't believe that, well, you can create your own limits. You're allowed to do that. You're whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Please subscribe and share my videos. Share the word that you are powerful beyond your imagination, that you are not this. You are this power that flows through that palm tree and that bird, the sky and the wind. This isn't woo-woo stuff. This is quantum mechanics. We are all one. It's beyond human comprehension. Don't try and figure it out. Just enjoy it. Be beautiful because you are. You're perfect. I'll see you in the next video. Namaste.